So this is a table, as noted. I do not know how the hell am I gonna fit everything under this, but we'll figure it out. It's a 6-foot table, so we'll see. It's 12:52 p.m. and I finally finished setting up. This is a lot, to be honest. As I mentioned before, it is a 6-foot table, so I basically filled it as much as I possibly could. I did move the stickers around, so some of them will be on the table, just to make room for the Ida bags, because I did bring a lot. Phone grips are here. I also brought the Bear corduroy bag for people to look at if they are interested, because it is on its way to me and I hope to have it in July. Heart bag, shaker keychains, Ida bags, the heart bag, heart wallets, enamel pins. Oh, I need to fix this sign. I do have a catalog up here just so people can look through it. We did have the table sign up. I think from last year they did say that you're supposed to have it up. I didn't see everyone with it up, but I just put it on for personal preference, since I know some people want to know where they are in terms of the location of Artist Alley. Magnets. Lanyards are a little bit higher. Usually I have lanyards up here, but just to make space for the magnet, I put the lanyards up here, and that's everything. Sadly, the Snorlax that I typically use as a business card holder is destroyed. He was already slightly destroyed from ACEN, but this time he did not make it, so I'm just gonna have it messily displayed here until I get a new business card holder. I do need to tape on the signs, but I did want to just show how the display looks so far without all of the signs, and I think it looks great. I don't know how I managed to fit everything. Super duper messy from behind. I'm literally just using almost every single available surface area, and hopefully it works out. I don't know, I was too spoiled with a 10x10 setup and an 8-foot setup. I'll have to say that it is super dark in the end. So on that side is like where all the sunlight is coming from. And here it is super duper dark, but it's like the little dark dungeon area. Hello, I realized I never actually did an intro. It is 1:37 and it is day 1 of Fanime. Basically, if you're not familiar with Fanime, it is a convention primarily focused on anime that is in San Jose. It's a 3-day con, or 3-day? Or is it 4-day? It's a 4-day con, and unfortunately there is no day 0. You can pick up your badge on day 0, however, you can't set up on day 0. You can only set up several hours before the convention. I think last year it was only open for 2 hours, but this time setup was 4 hours, which was really helpful because it did take me really long just to set up this time because I am doing all of this solo, similar to ACEN. I'm excited for this show because I did do this one last year and it was my first flying convention. This time I did drive because I realized that I could not bring as much inventory as I could if I was doing this alone. Last year I did have Sam, so then she was able to use like that free check-in luggage with Southwest, but this time I didn't mind driving because, again, I learned from last weekend that I do not want to run out of a lot of items because then it's a lost opportunity. So we'll see. I feel like after the past few weeks, just learning from all of that kind of helped with setting up for this weekend. However, I am very tired. It's all catching up to me. I'll also say that from last year, I learned that I did sell out of my most popular items by Saturday, and I really don't want to repeat that problem this time. So I don't even know how many I brought of each item. It was just a lot. Also, instead of having a general sign on pricing for the Ida bags, because I do have standard and B grade bags, I added these tiny post-it notes to each bag. So if I did have only standard grade for pink, it's just one post-it note. Same thing with the red Ida bag, and most of them that are only like B grade, they have the different pricings. However, for the lavender bags, I do have them in both A and B grade, so then I put them up here. And then if they ever sell out, I'll just put like sold out like next to this post-it note. Same thing here. Yeah. And then for this, I know because even though it does say the ETA, I know some people might be overwhelmed with how much information there is. So I did put a tiny post-it note saying that it is coming soon in July. Same thing with the corduroy bags.
if you happen to run out of these, like for example today, will you have enough for the rest of the weekend?
I think if they run out, like for this weekend, just because I'm from LA. So then I only have like a small amount. Oh yeah, yeah. Take your time. So it is 5:32 and maybe there's like 2.5 hours left until this con closes today, and it's been going really well so far. I don't even know what count we're at, but there was a rush in the beginning, and I think it's mostly because of people from social media, so thank you, I appreciate you very much, who wanted to claim the bags, especially like the black plastic Ita bags, since I haven't listed them online, and the last ones were up today. What else? Thank you.
I told you your Instagram.
That's so great. Thank you.
I'm not done though.
Okay.
I know how this works. I saw your shop last year and I was disappointed that you ran out.
Oh.
Can I get the phone grip of the Sunny and the crew?
The whole crew? Okay.
The whole crew. And then can I also get the stickers, Anya, Lloyd, the whole family, give me the whole family. Do you also have the small one-piece pins, the little?
Yes, I do have the filler pin.
Yeah, I'll take the sets of those.
And then did you also want like the Ace Luffy set or just these two?
There's an Ace. Where's that?
It's this one.
Yeah, I'll hold this one.
Yeah, okay.
Are you crazy or something?
Anything else for you?
Can I get a JoJo phone here?
Okay. This one.
Well, how much does this come out to?
Okay, let me.
Let's do math.
Yes. It's like a flat 400.
Okay.
And let me. I can put that in a bag for you actually. Do you want them in individual bags or just like throw it in a big
bag?
Okay, gotcha. And then will that be Venmo or card?
I'll do Venmo first because I think my card was
Yeah. Just got your payment. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one. It is 7:21 and it's been dying a little bit, as you can see. Not as many people, which for me, while I'm grateful that there were a lot of sales, I'm also really drained right now, and even though I got like 7 hours of sleep, I'm starting to feel the exhaustion. So, I mean, you already know this, but Fanime is a really good show. Overall, solid event. Did really well for Friday. I can't really compare to ACEN right now, just because my brain is fried and I haven't given an accurate tally. However, I have been writing everything down. Another thing that I have to add is that Fanime does have really long hours. Hello. As I was saying, Fanime hours are really long, I think. So today, the con opened at 2, however I was here at 10 just to set up, because I know it takes me a really long time, especially because I am by myself. Today it ends at 8 p.m, tomorrow it's from 10 to 8, so basically like today, same thing Sunday, 10 to 8, and then Monday I think it's 10 to 2, but then I know for me it'll take me like an hour to an hour and a half just to clean up everything on Monday, so. Dang, they really cleared up all the business cards. I have like so many like lined up here. Finally done. Yeah. Just cleaned up for the night. I will see y'all tomorrow. It is day 2 of Fanime. I'm very tired. I will say that where I am is actually not too bad of a spot, because just from my experience from last year, I was closer to that entrance. However, I learned that there's entrances there and there and there that I did not know until I did this event. So I thought, you know, if I can't get those entrances over there, I'll just get a spot near these. And it's really good. Yesterday was really good. I counted the numbers, and while I did have a little bit less transactions from ACEN last Friday, in terms of revenue, it was just also a little bit more. So I did exceed my Friday of ACEN yesterday, which was Friday of Fanime. So it's really good. I'm curious to see how Saturday will go. I feel like yesterday's transactions were mostly people from social media who knew that I tend to sell out like the first few days, and also some people from last year who they learned that last year I did sell out really quickly, so they came yesterday on day one to buy everything that they wanted to buy last year. So that was really nice. A lot of people were very sweet, so thank you for saying hi. Curious to see how today goes. Yeah. Not sure if I mentioned this in past events, however, I do find it important to cover not only the front of your booth, but also the back, just because for my own personal assurance, I like to have the back covered, especially since there is some inventory. I do take some things home, but it's also nice to just have everything covered on both sides, at least just to make it difficult. Like, if you're gonna steal from me, like, you kind of have to struggle a little bit. For other people, sometimes they just cover their table with a tablecloth. Similar to that, they just like cover it just so people walking by can't just like grab something real quick. I actually do use the canopy walls that I typically use for my 10x10 vendor outdoor events, just because I don't see any reason in buying a different kind of material or cover just for like to cover a booth. Doesn't really matter. I've seen some people again use a bed sheet. I used to use a bed sheet last year before I did 10x10 events. I've also seen people use blankets, random scraps of fabric, so it really doesn't matter just as long as you can secure it, and I do use those clamps to cover everything. Also, now that I noticed it, I realized, I know with ACEN there were not a lot less, but there were a little bit less transactions versus here at Fanime. I feel like here at Fanime, people also know what they want to buy, and they also buy a lot. Like, I've had several transactions where they pretty much purchased the entire one-piece pin set, or they purchased all of the Straw Hat crew. So it's more so that people are buying, but they're also buying a lot, which is really nice. I really appreciate you guys, so thank you so much. Okay, I have to actually keep prepping. Similar to ACEN, I am writing my table info and the con on my business cards, and I've been putting them in front of my table just because, again, I am out of the Snorlax, or my Snorlax business card holder broke, so I've just been putting it in front. And honestly, like, I don't even know how many I put, like a lot, and we're pretty much nearly empty. I'm actually running out of business cards again. But I did bring an entire box, so it's a little nuts, but this has been helping a lot. Hello! His Eat bag is so cute! And look at his art, I love it. Like, so beautiful. Look how colorful, and I love the style. So great. Hello! The white bag? Just to let you know, the white bag, it is in B grade, so it has slightly more noticeable flaws than the standard bag, but you do get a chance to look through the bag prior to purchase. Feel free to look through this one. You can also look inside as well. This one? Okay. Anything else for you? Alright, that'll be 70. Will that be cash, card, or Venmo? Card. Alright, so for the B grade bag with tax, this is your total. And you can tap or insert whenever you're ready. Go ahead and take your card, and then it'll ask you a few questions on the screen. Great, and you're all set. Thank you. Have a good one. B grade bags are finally sold out. Look at this void. However, I do still have a few standard bags, and I found what made it easier is having a list of numbers of each bag, so then I know, like, what do I have of B grade and what do I have of standard grade. I've been saved by B. Yay! She's helping me for a little bit. It's very helpful. While there's no one in front of me, it's been pretty good today, especially for a Saturday. Pretty much what I expected for a Saturday. Really busy. However, in terms of sales, there's still 3 more hours. However, I Again, I'm comparing it to ACEN, so obviously like compared to last year's Fanime, it's a lot better this year. However, compared to ACEN, it's kind of on the range of less transactions. However, I have noticed a lot more bigger transactions, or maybe just like one or a couple more stickers, but I will give a better analysis tomorrow. Con ends at 7, 40 more minutes. I am so tired. I will say in comparison to ACEN, in terms of number of transactions, it's not significantly less. However, I would say it's like 20 or 30 or so less than ACEN for Saturday. I haven't counted the numbers because I'm still in the con. It's 6:44 and it doesn't end till 7, so like 16 or so minutes. But I feel like sales in terms of cash could have been about the same as ACEN Saturday, so I will let y'all know tomorrow how it went. Hello, I am finally meeting her. Yay! So cute. It's
The
like,
One Piece is real!
yeah. I love her. She's great. Like, look at her stuff. It's so cute. Love the pixel art. I feel like we never have like a con together except for this one, which
Fanime, right?
oh yes, in the bag.
Oh my god.
I love it.
I love it.
Eee.
And I have a second one too.
Oh yeah. Goodness, it is so dark in here. But hello, it is day 2 of Fanime, and looking at the numbers, I already exceeded last year's Fanime numbers. It's kind of a given because I have a hell of a lot of stuff this year, and again, added with the Ita bags, a lot more pins, a few more phone grips, and then the shaker keychains. It was kind of expected. I would say that for this convention, I wasn't aware of this, and I'm pretty sure it might have been the same last year. For attendees, there were a lot of people who barely started coming in around the afternoon and even later in the day. One customer came in and bought for me, and she said that like she literally just got in and it was around 2 p.m. So I would advise getting like super early, kind of like Anime Expo, where it could potentially be a line con if you're not here early enough. Did I say day 2? I meant day 3. And it's 9:05 because they don't let artists in until 9 o'clock. So you basically have an hour to prep. But I feel like to me, it's enough time. But I would like 2 hours. Some details about this convention if you're not familiar. This is the price for the table. It comes with a 6x2 table, 2 chairs. If you do have a helper, you'll have to purchase a badge for them. They're testing the internet. They're also not allowed to take sales. There's a whole thing about it where they need to be on the permit and listed as an employee. I personally don't really know how that works, so while I don't have a helper with me this year, last year when Sam was with me, she could not take transactions. So if I did leave the table for a little bit, like to use the bathroom or go somewhere, she is technically not allowed to make sales, and basically she could only tell people that I'll be back soon. I personally don't know the reasons for that, but for this con in particular, that's the rule. And I'm not really familiar if that's the case with other conventions, but this is the only one that I know of that has that. Also for yesterday, they didn't have this last year, however they did introduce a portion basically past event hours, so after 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. they had Artist Alley open to staff and other exhibitors for private shopping. However, it is optional. I personally didn't really participate in it. I think I just opened for like the first few minutes because I was confused and no one announced anything. And me prioritizing my own personal health because I've been doing events for the past 3 weekends so far, I just decided to close. If I had more energy and if this was maybe my second event or my only event, I would have stayed the extra hour, but I was really exhausted at that point and I haven't even eaten lunch or dinner, so I just had to put my health first. It is 1:05 and I'm feeling super drained right now. I can even feel it in my voice and that it's gotten a lot softer than I usually would go in terms of energy. It's gonna be a long day. It ends at 7 p.m. today, and then there's tomorrow. I think it's from 10 to 2, and even though it's a half day, it's still really long. I have to say, I finally met Chris Kaiko. If you're not familiar, he does a lot of Artist Alley vlogs. I mean, if you watch my vlogs, you'll probably be familiar with him. And he's so kind. I was really nervous saying hi. I did see him when I came in this morning, but I saw he was setting up his camera and filming, and I didn't want to bother him while he was working. And then I bought his Animal Crossing print, and he was super cool. He recognized kind of felt a little nervous. But thank you so much for your kindness and keep up the good work. Also, I feel like today, so today's Sunday, it's day 3, this is a 4-day con. I feel like there's not that much traffic today compared to yesterday. And I don't know if it's because people are just being more relaxed because they've already gone through the entire convention and pretty much bought everything that they really wanted to buy, especially if it's an impulse purchase. Like there's a lot more gaps between purchases today that I've noticed. Also, people are probably hungover from partying yesterday. But I am glad to have a little bit of rest. Thank you, Chen, for giving me sustenance. So something I started implementing, if you remember before with my glassine bags, I would use one of these packing stickers to basically close these together. However, I have noticed some people tearing it open, and I thought, you know what, and I haven't been using it, I'm just gonna put it on the bag itself, and I feel like that's helping a little bit. Hello, wow. Hello, this is Cyan. Okay, she's helping me a little bit today. Very helpful. Thank you. Yeah, of course. So, interestingly enough, again, as I mentioned, it is a little bit less busy today. Maybe like most people slept in, I don't know, or they have church, as I like to say. Or there wasn't a shopping rush until around 3 p.m. surprisingly, to the point where there were sales one after another. But for the most part, again, there is a lot of space in between transactions, at least for today, compared to yesterday. And even from what I've noticed, I feel like this year's Fanime is a little bit slower in terms of number of sales versus last year's Fanime. However, I am doing a lot better this year just because I have a lot more stuff compared to last year. So I've noticed even vendor friends have said that it's a little bit slower this year. So.
Do you have like a buy 3 for X deal?
Yeah, so I have 3 for 40 on pins, and you can mix and match any of these except for whatever's in the box.
Now I have to do 3 for 40. I'm gonna pass on this one though,
okay.
but I'll for sure do Gojo. And I'll do Mikasa as well. Okay, it's between Yor and I don't know the girl with the double horns.
Oh, Power?
Yeah. What do you think? Yor or Power? Okay, I'll skip this one. You're right. I'll do Yor and Power. I will watch this for sure. I'll buy the thing to convince me to do it.
And just to double check, you wanted these 3 pins?
Yes.
Alright, that'll be 40.
I'm gonna do card.
Card? Okay. With tax, this is your total, and then you can tap or insert. And then it'll ask you a few questions on the screen.
Thank you.
And you're all set. Thank you so much.
You're very cute.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Day 3 is done. Ah.
Hello, it is the last day and day 4 of Fanime here in San Jose, and it has been a very long weekend. But we did it. We're nearly done. So I have a few notes about the convention before I forget to mention them. Again, if you're not familiar with Fanime, it's in San Jose and there's about 30,000 plus attendees throughout the whole weekend. If you're interested in applying, it is a juried application process. So I can't remember when apps opened, but basically you submit your portfolio and include whatever information, and then a few months later you'll receive whether you got in or not. It is rather difficult to get into Fanime because even if you do get in 1 year, you're not guaranteed to get in the next year, and that happened for a few of my vendor friends who did attend last year but were waitlisted this year. In terms of table placement, last year we were randomly assigned table placements. However, this year it was basically first come, first serve, which is also why I chose this spot when I couldn't get tables towards the main entrance, because I did know from last year that there were doors in front of us that a lot of people did enter through. So I thought if I can't get that spot, I'll just get this spot that is also close to several entrances. The other side, there is a lot of natural sunlight, which is nice. However, from what I've heard, it can get really warm really quickly, and depending on the type of products you have and your print quality, from what I've heard from another artist, it can wash out your art prints. So that's just something to consider. I think that should be it. Today is pretty much a half day. We start at 10 a.m. and end at 2 p.m. and then after that we just clean up, and then I'm glad I brought enough product to not sell out too much of some of my popular products. If I did sell out, that was because it was my fault, because I didn't bring enough like Zoro or Yamato pins or Brook pins, and I forgot to bring a lot of koi fish stickers, but for the most part I did bring enough to actually not sell out too quickly. I tied my hair up because I got really warm real fast, but I will say that if you don't get into Fanime, there's almost a million other conventions and events happening at the same weekend. Like, I have friends doing different events right now. Besides Fanime, there's MomoCon in Georgia, 626 Pleasanton, which is like not too far from here, Animazement in North Carolina, I believe. There's also Anime Riverside. If you didn't know, I did Anime Riverside last year and I did pretty well. But at the time, it was the weekend after Fanime. I was going to do it, but then it fell around the same weekend as Fanime, so I was like, I don't have a proxy available, so I just did Fanime itself. So you're not really missing out too much, but you can make a decent amount of money here. It is 12:28 and today is significantly slower than the past few days, which I understand because it is Monday, and even though it is Memorial Day, a lot of people are taking the day off. I know a few vendor friends who came as attendees and didn't even come in today, which I understand. I feel like it's mostly like last minute sales. Even throughout the aisles, there were a few people who already had sold out items. But I do feel like today is much slower than it was last Monday, not last Monday, but last year's Monday. However, I would say, even though I am doing this con solo, I personally wouldn't want to do this con solo again. I wasn't too overwhelmed as I thought I would be. However, I have been doing cons for like a year and a half, so this is all like autopilot for me. But if you are just starting and you're doing this con, hello, I would want to help her with me. There's a little more than an hour left until this con ends, and I feel like there isn't really much to add besides what I've already mentioned in the next hour. So thank you so much for watching. If you like these vlogs, please watch this playlist where it has all of my Artist Alley vlogs, and I hope to see y'all in my next video. Bye!